point. Yeah, I think we're going to get one more person at some point, but otherwise we have most of you. So I'm so excited. I appreciate you guys sharing everything, and we are going to cover so many topics. But first, my name is Caitlyn. I'm a registered dietitian. I also have my Master's of Science degree in nutrition. I've been working on the side with Ariane for over a year now. I assist Ariane with social media posts. You probably see my posts Wednesday night. They're more nutrition related than her other stuff. And I also help with some research and then some events like this one. I'll also be part of the Women's Health Retreat in April. So things like that. And then outside of the movement paradigm, I work at a local hospital as an inpatient clinical dietitian, covering a rehab type unit. It's a transitional skilled unit. So I typically get people come from the bigger hospital, come to me for just a little bit of extra time, a little bit of extra therapy. And I have to see everyone there because it's considered long-term care. And I see a lot of joint replacements, a little bit of everything, truthfully. I see heart failure, I see kidney disease, I see diabetes, all across the spectrum. Yeah, so in both my positions, some things that I'm constantly talking about are how to make balanced meals, because it seems to be something that everybody tends to question. And then also adequate protein intake is a big one that I talk about as well. So these topics are frequently brought up, and many people just struggle with time constraints, the skills required in cooking, knowing how to put the meals together to be nutrient dense and satisfying, things like that. So we're going to discuss these topics in length, help you navigate how to create meals quickly that taste good and leaving you feeling satisfied and nourished. That's one of the biggest things. So the main method that I'm using today is individualized portioned meals. So this will be cooking enough food for 3 to 4 meals that are the exact same thing. Be a yummy salad containing all of the necessary components to make it balanced and satisfying and nutritious. So the necessary components of a balanced meal are protein, fat, and fiber. Those are the big 3. Protein. So for high quality protein sources, we mean proteins that contain all of the essential amino acids for us. So we need all these amino acids to just do all these different chemical reactions in the body. These main sources are your lean meats, your fish, and your eggs. Those are the ones we tend to focus on in the movement paradigm just because they're the most nutrient dense and are the most complete. You can get protein from plant foods as well, but we tend to focus more on the animal sources. And also protein powders like whey or egg white protein powder, if you use any of those. Protein is crucial for so many chemical reactions in the body, for muscle synthesis, hormone health, all across the spectrum. So in our recipe today that I'm going to be cooking with you, our protein source is turkey meatballs specifically.
Good.
And then fat. So fat is the second one. Dietary sources of fat are your nuts, your nut butters, your seeds, your oils, butter, avocados, and your dairy products. If you can tolerate dairy, I know not everybody can. In this recipe, our fat source is our sunflower seeds and our dressing. So fiber is the third one. Fiber sources are your grains. This is your rice, pasta, breads, your fruits, and your vegetables. In our recipe today, we have lots of fiber and carbs going on for multiple foods. We have sweet potatoes, we have lettuce, we have beans or chickpeas. So when you're meal prepping, you want to think about these 3 food groups and wonder, am I getting a little bit of all 3? And why do we insist on balanced meals? I think that's a lot of what I get from people is like, okay, I keep hearing balance, 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 but why? So I use the term naked carbs with my clients a lot. This is carbs that are eaten alone. So by themselves without protein or fat, especially your simple carbs that are very quickly absorbed, like sugary snacks, chips, white bread, things that lack fiber. If you eat naked carbs, 2 things happen. You have a big spike in blood sugar, and then you have a big drop in blood sugar. The glucose from this food is absorbed quickly and leaves you feeling hungry, most likely like an hour or 2 later, something like that. You catch yourself looking for another snack right away. having cravings, versus if you were to choose a more fiber-rich carb source, such as sweet potatoes like we're cooking today, or pairing it with protein and fat, you're going to find that digestion and absorption literally slows down a little bit. You have a sensation of satiety, so you feel fuller longer, you feel satisfied literally in your stomach. And this often helps people just learn to curb their cravings, manage their blood sugars. And instead of our blood sugars looking like a big roller coaster like this, I don't know if you can see me well or not, it'll look much more gradual. And that's what we're supposed to have. So for people that are at risk of diabetes, this tip tends to help them so much. And overall, it's just better for us preventing insulin resistance, preventing or treating diabetes. Just making sure to try to avoid having naked carbs. Obviously, it's going to happen sometimes, but if most of your meals and snacks can be more balanced, blood sugar will be better, satiety will be better. Cravings tend to be better. People will find, I hear this a lot, people will find if they increase protein specifically at breakfast, they will find in the evening, they won't be as like snacky. They have to have a big, heavy breakfast and they may feel better in the evening. So that's something I like. If I hear somebody say every night, I'm like craving food, like I'm craving snacks, I'll say, well, what are you having for breakfast? This method of balanced meals also helps us get more nutrition in. So most people know fiber is crucial for gut health, right? But our gut microbiome feeds off of prebiotic fiber from different fruits and vegetables. So if we focus on adding these fruits and veggies with all your meals and snacks, we're optimizing our nutrition, which is one of our biggest goals. So fiber sources also have great micronutrients. These are your vitamins, your minerals. And we are getting more bang for our buck in a sense every time we eat if we focus on having all of these necessary components, protein, fat, and fiber. Don't be afraid of having lots of color in your meal. Don't be afraid of fats, specifically your healthy fats like your nuts, your seeds, and your avocado. No, we don't need to avoid those most likely, depending on your health history, but in general, this is a very general course. And definitely don't be afraid of lean meats and lots of eggs with your meals. Some people will say, I just eat one egg in the morning. Don't be afraid to have two or more to get more protein and more fat. Having all of this going, all of these components in there are just giving you so many nutrients rather than just having one food group. So I'm going to get started with the meatballs. Let's see if you can still, you should still be able to see me. So I have a pack of, let me put this down a little bit. You're probably not going to see my face, but you're going to see what I'm doing, and that's the goal. So I have a bowl of turkey here. I'm going to mix this turkey. I already have pre-cut up onion. If you can tolerate onion, I know that's a more fermentable food, so some people don't tolerate onion and garlic, but if you do, onion, garlic. I measure with my heart when it comes to garlic. You know, the more the merrier. Italian seasoning. Really everything in this recipe, I just measure with my heart. But the recipe, I will give you the recipe then after this. And it has exact measurements if you want exact measurements, but I'm just doing whatever. And then a little bit of cayenne. Not much. And then salt and pepper. Let's see. I'm gonna take my watch. This. Mix that up. I just find meatballs to be one of those just really easy foods that can be thrown into anything. Like we make meatballs almost every week, or like patties just to have. I have a 3-year-old. And it's just an easy food to have in the fridge to just randomly pull out, and it's like one little serving that's perfect for my kiddo or a couple for me. Get my pan. I already sprayed this with, I get avocado oil spray. I think I do about like golf ball sized-ish. Oops. Yeah, so this will take me a minute. While I roll these, does anybody have a question right now, or is everything pretty digestible, what I said so far?
Is that ground turkey? You said?
Yes.
Okay, and doesn't it get kind of, it's more like, it's not like a solid, it's like a water, almost like a water base. Kind of like, it's like it's hard to mold it together when you have everything in there.
Truthfully,
No?
I'm not really having an issue, but if you did, I could see adding breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
I'm not using breadcrumbs, but that would help a little bit. Um, plus I'm pretty gluten free, so and gluten free breadcrumbs aren't the best. I mean, you can use
I have them because I'm gluten sensitive.
uh-huh.
Just, certain foods that doesn't agree with my stomach doesn't agree with it.
Yeah.
So that's what we
Yeah.
do.
I've
We
tried
buy
gluten-free
turkey breast.
breadcrumbs and I didn't love them. I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
you could use them though,
Okay.
if you like them. Yeah, but personally, I don't have a problem rolling these. I think they stick pretty decently.
I have a question.
Sure.
Just in general, like for eggs, I kind of go back and forth. I mean, like they say the egg whites, I mean, the egg yolks used to not be good, and now they say it's good. But for cholesterol, if you want to lower your cholesterol, should I stay with egg whites or do like one egg white? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the research on eggs before was outdated. They did more studies on eggs and cholesterol, and they found that they do not increase your cholesterol like your labs,
Okay.
actually. So the position
But
changed on that. I do know that that's what they used to say, but they did correct that. And yeah, now they say that you can have whole eggs and it will not affect your cholesterol.
okay.
Um, I think it's more, I think if you want to work on your cholesterol, I think it's more just whole foods, less like very saturated fats or trans fats.
Okay.
Sometimes people even find their cholesterol will improve just when their inflammation gets better. So whatever is causing your inflammation. I know that Ariane talks about that a lot with her patients, inflammation in the body. If you have a lot of inflammation, you may find your cholesterol's going up. But yeah, it depends on the person, but eggs are fine.
Okay, I'll go back to them.
Yeah, eggs
Thank you.
are just such a good nutritious food.
We have chickens, so we have a lot of eggs.
Nice. Yeah, I have chickens too.
Are you supposed to like maybe only narrow it down to like 3 days a week if you can have 2 eggs with the yolk? It doesn't matter. Is there a limit in 1 week? Because
And
my husband and I love eggs.
yeah, I
Scrambled
mean,
eggs.
you mean for anybody or
In general, is there so much eggs to eat during the week? Like I thought someone said you shouldn't eat no more than 3 eggs a week, whole eggs, because like you said, people thought it raised your cholesterol.
yeah, personally, I don't really think there's much of a limit for in general. I'll be honest, I probably have a couple eggs every day, 7 days a week. Um, I know that Ariane likes eggs too, and egg white powders. I know that's egg whites, but um yeah, it's a complete protein source and it has healthy fats in there and it has good minerals in there. Like it's a good iron source as well. So I personally don't think there's any limit unless you're told otherwise by your professional one-on-one. So if you're seeing Ariane already, you could,
Talk
see
to
if she
them.
recommends that specifically for you for some reason, but
Now, is it negative if you like? I love egg salad. I make it myself. I don't order that when I don't eat it when I'm out because I control the mayonnaise or other ingredients. But is it bad to put mayonnaise of some into the making an egg salad?
Nope, so that
Well-
would be a fat. That would be a great fat
The
source. Like I said, like dressings are fat, so that's great. There is the avocado mayo, right? And olive oil mayo out there, so you'd be getting more omega-3s out of it, which would be nice.
So so using avocado mayonnaise would just be a lot healthier than, like, say, the Hellman's mayonnaise.
I think there's even a
Probably.
Hellman's olive oil mayo, I think.
Okay, I'll look for that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I buy personally, because I'm always just thinking about how do I add more omega-3s? Omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. How can I help reduce inflammation and get more healthy fats and all of that? So yeah, I don't think you need to be afraid of mayo by any means. It's a fat source, and like we're talking about today, having a fat source is one of the 3 components. So yeah, I hope that helps. And here are the meatballs. I'm gonna set these aside and wash my hands. And then,
Does how you prepare the eggs make a difference too? Like whether it's scrambled or fried or hard boiled or
I think so, as long as
over
it's not
easy?
raw. Because there is, I forget the reaction that happens, but there is something with consuming raw eggs that interferes with a vitamin or something that I learned in the past, but as long as you're consuming them cooked, you're getting all the benefits. Yeah. I wish I could
Scrambled eggs are okay. Scrambled are okay if you watch what you scramble them in, like a
Yeah.
high fat butter or a type of oil or something like that. I'm a scrambled egg either or hard boiled. I'm not a
Mhm.
fried egg or a turnover easy type egg person.
Yeah, scrambled eggs are great. That's typically what I have too. I'm more of a scrambled gal myself.
Yeah.
And I switch between unsalted butter and avocado oil.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's your personal preference.
Good.
I'm gonna put sorry, I'm looking at the time. I'm gonna put the sweet potatoes out next. So I pre-cut these too, so you didn't have to watch me struggle to cut a sweet potato. Because they're kind of tough to cut. You can also buy them. I don't know if you have ever seen this in the store, any of you. You can buy like frozen bags of cut up sweet potatoes to make it even faster and more convenient. They're awesome. I think Aldi and there was another store I saw it too. Have like steam in a bags, cubed sweet potatoes if you didn't want to go through all this. But this is still easy too. I love sheet pan stuff because it all can just bake. And while you bake, you can do something else.
Caitlin, they're not boiled, are they?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, just cut up.
I would think frozen would you'd be able to store them longer without them spoiling or
Yeah,
decaying. Yeah.
yeah.
I buy a lot of frozen fruit in frozen fruit and use that compared to buying fresh fruit because it
Yes.
deteriorates quickly. Yeah.
I love frozen fruit. I frequently recommend that to patients. If you're somebody who finds that your fruit goes bad, and you find that you're just not eating it and you're just like, I keep trying, but I keep wasting it. And like, I will bring that up a lot because also frozen fruit is frozen at peak ripeness. So peak nutritional value as well. So it's actually just super nutritious to have frozen fruits and vegetables, just in stock in your house.
Right. Good.
So for this, I am doing, trying to remember, let me get my recipe. Now I'm doing chili powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper. You could also throw these in a bowl and mix everything really well. I just like to prevent as many dishes as I possibly can. Because that's what the focus of this whole class is. Like, let's make meal prep as easy as possible. We're busy people. We don't want to be spending 4 hours making food, right?
Exactly.
Where is my chili powder? That's over here. Garlic powder. All right. Yeah, so we're gonna have both of these sheet pans cook at the same time in the oven for about 20-ish minutes, something like that, or until the meatballs, specifically your turkey and chicken, has to meet 165 degrees. So that I want to be cooked thoroughly, and then the sweet potatoes to be soft. And then while it's baking, we can work on the salads. So you can really
What
just take
temperature?
time.
What temperature did you say?
Oh, 400. And you will get this recipe sent to you afterwards via email. I probably should have said that. I'm sorry. So you'll get my PDF. I already made a nice little PDF with the recipe and ingredients. And then I also have another handout I'm thinking about sending you guys when we get into protein. I'll bring that up and you can tell me if you're interested in that. I've been working on a lot of different nutrition handouts to help with just all these different topics and giving like quick little digestible tips that can help you manage making meals. Oh, this isn't good. All right. Top rack it is.
How long do you think the meatballs last in the refrigerator?
I would say, probably at least 5 days. Like I do this on a Sunday and I eat it through the week. And usually like a week is where I draw the line. Like I like more than 7 days. But I usually eat them all by Friday, like Monday through Friday. So yeah,
Okay,
5 to 7 days. I wouldn't go longer than that.
yeah.
And I
Yeah,
would say too, if you find you're not eating them all, you could just throw them in the freezer. And if
Yeah,
they're already cooked, it's easy to pull out and eat at a later
Yeah.
time. I do that a lot.
yeah, that's a great tip. Thank you. All right, so now that those are in the oven, we're gonna throw our salads together. So I use these little pretty meal prep containers that are divided. I like them, so I put my meat in my small one and I put my salad in my bigger one. And I'm just gonna do 3 because we do pretty big servings here. My fiance is like lifts and everything, and he likes a lot crammed into these, so 3 is good, but you could probably make 4 if you're not trying to do big portions.
Better to use glass container as compared to plastic?
Say that one more time.
Is it better to use a glass container as compared to plastic?
I prefer glass. I've personally been trying to limit my plastic if I can, but I know it's also costly, so I don't want to say like go buy all glass. I don't like to assume that you can do that, but that is my preference. And there are like some studies on plastic leaking into food, and yeah, so I try to limit it, but also, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I also sometimes steam my vegetables in one of those steam bags, the plastic bags, and and whatever you can do in your life, that's reasonable.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
understood.
I try to be gentle with that stuff. I don't like to assume that you can make all these changes. We don't want to get overwhelmed and stressed about all these changes either. So I just have some spring mix here. That's just what I prefer. But you can do whatever lettuce you like. Let me move this back down so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. One, two, three. No, so we're still missing something. So I guess somebody didn't make it tonight. I'm also doing sunflower seeds, chickpeas, and craisins. That's just what I like. And then it also provides more fiber more fat from the sunflower seeds. I just think, what can I add to make this meal feel more satisfying? That's my biggest focus. So do what you like. If you're not a chickpea person, but you like black beans, you could do that. If you want a different vegetable thrown in here, if you want raw cucumbers or carrots or something like that. If you don't like sunflower seeds, nuts, yeah, or a different seed. Yeah. So
Caitlin, is it healthier to keep the skin on the, you know, the cucumbers, or you peel the skin off, or is it personal preference?
the most fiber is in peels of fruits and veggies. So if you want the extra fiber, you could keep them on. But also, if you just like cucumbers without skin, it's okay. Whatever you want. Here's my chickpeas. I drained and rinsed these earlier. I just did a can of chickpeas, and I'm gonna have some left over that I'm just gonna put in the fridge. And then we pour a bunch of sunflower seeds for healthy fats. And then craisins. Craisins do have, the only thing with these dried fruits is that they have a decent amount of sugar added. So I try not to go crazy with these because added sugars are just unnecessary. But I like a little bit of sweetness in my salad, so I throw a few in there for my own satisfaction, because I want to be satisfied at lunch and not be heading to the snack bowl in the hospital an hour later. All right, that's our salads. I'm gonna push those to the side. I'm gonna put my lettuce away. And then I'm gonna do dressing. So dressing is completely up to you. I just really like this one, this Green Goddess dressing by Annie's. I just really, really like the taste of it. But whatever your little heart desires. I don't need too much. I like to prep all of this, so then it's just easy grab and go in the morning, especially since I also have my toddler, so gotta grab his lunch, gotta grab my lunch. You said you have grandkids, right? Sorry, I'm forgetting all the names, so many new names.
Hilda does.
Hilda.
They're 8 and 11 boys.
11. Awesome. I have a 3-year-old
the old-
boy.
My 11-year-old loves vegetables and fruits and doesn't take much protein with it.
Okay.
But Lacey eats his fruit, and these are string beans and tomatoes and all kinds of fruit, kiwis.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good fiber. And I've heard from pediatric dietitians, I don't specialize in pediatrics, but I have heard from pediatric dietitians that protein isn't as big of a deal for kids as it is for us, specifically elderly. I know that David, you mentioned being 75.
Yes.
As you're elderly and your muscles naturally can kind of diminish as you age. So meeting your protein needs is super important when you're older. But yeah, for some reason, kids, they say it's not as much of a worry. Like they don't have this big number to meet like we do. Yeah, so speaking of protein, I'm gonna go into that now while this stuff keeps cooking. So, oh, and batch cooking. I forgot to mention that. So we are doing, this is the individualized portioned meals. You can also do batch cooking, which I wanted to mention because I had heard, David, like you mentioned, it can be hard to cook for one person, and batch cooking can be a way to make meals for one person or a lot of people. It's really quite versatile, but it would be kind of different every night, which is what I like about it. So this method Batch cooking is just making a decent amount of each food group. So for example, we could bake a bunch of chicken and veggies on a sheet pan or on the stove, steam a bunch of rice, and store each food group in the fridge separately. Then when you're ready, pull that out, make a bowl with all those food groups, and then dress it up however you want that night. So for example, one night you may add guacamole and salsa. Another night you may add black beans, cheese, and ranch to make it like a taco bowl. Another night you may add chopped cucumbers and tomatoes and lemon juice to give it like a lighter, more herby essence that night. Each day you can just top it differently with lots of flavor and no cooking required. You just heat up those food groups and top it off however you feel that day. So that method I talk about a lot as well, because then you're not having literally copycat things every day. You're giving it a little extra flair.
Sounds perfect for me because I spend a lot of my days working out. So
And I mean, that's good too.
Yeah.
All right, so now protein. So for the average person who is pretty active, we usually recommend 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Now, to figure out how many kilograms you weigh, I don't know if you've ever had to do this. You divide your weight in pounds by 2.2. And then it's around half your weight-ish. But that's a rough estimate. So another guideline that some people appreciate aiming for is that about 30 grams of protein at every meal. Sometimes that's a little bit easier to think about than trying to meet this number all day long. So we utilize protein in the body most efficiently when we consistently eat foods rich in protein throughout the day. I like to mention that because sometimes people will like try to cram it in like 1 or 2 meals. It's better to consistently consume it in meals and snacks throughout the day. We will use that better in our bodies. Oh, and then snacks can also be around like maybe 15 to 20 grams. This is very general guidelines. So if you were to want to really figure out like exactly what you should have, you can schedule an appointment and get more in-depth counseling on exactly how much you want to reach. Because it's different depending on your medical conditions. Like someone with kidney disease has to watch their protein versus somebody else who's weightlifting and super healthy. You know, they're going to need way more for that muscle synthesis afterwards, that muscle recovery afterwards. So yeah, so you can reach out to Ariane if you want to get more thorough counseling. I'm only working there a few hours right now, so I'm not taking patients at this point, but stay tuned for the future on that. And I have a great handout on examples of what 30 grams of protein can look like. Specific ways to add up to 30 grams for a meal. So if you want that, let me know, and I can include that with the recipe PDF in the email that you guys will get after.
I do.
that sounds good.
Okay, 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all 4 of you are nodding. Okay, great. All right, awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yes, you'll receive a copy of the recipe, and then you'll also get the 30 grams of protein handout. And then
I have a question.
Yep.
Is it per kilograms of ideal body weight? Or
no, this
actual-
is current body weight.
okay.
Yeah. So it's rare that I use ideal in that scenario. Sometimes I do. But for the most part, current body weight.
Okay.
I have a question, Caitlin. Now that my husband and I retired, I tend to like to go out, eat with my friends, or for us to go out.
Yeah.
And is it true that I've learned that if you're going to order, you ask for sauce and gravy on the side, and watch out for the soup because soup has a lot of sodium in it? I mean, when you look at a menu, what's the focus there? When I'm looking at a menu that's got a lot of, like a diner, it has a lot of.
Yeah,
choices.
going out to eat is tricky because that's where you lose control of the ingredients and the way they're seasoning things. And yeah, and it's hard to say what they're doing exactly, like if they're dousing it in salt and stuff like that, if they're using like heavy oils, if they're using a lot of vegetable oil to cook it in or whatever. But things to focus on.
Like, like just don't use the gravies, obviously, the soups. I get a lot of salads, and I figure that's a lot healthier than, and they ask for like protein, say shrimp or steak. I mean, is that a good way to
Yeah.
look at?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be very similar to what we're talking about today. Definitely just trying to think of a way of how can I get all three food groups when I go out, which sometimes can be tricky. Sometimes it's hard to find fiber. That's the one that like, it's like, okay, so I got this big serving of meat and I got some fries, but like I want more fiber than just fries. Like I want to get some greens, and sometimes that's tough. So getting that side of steamed broccoli or whatever it is that day. And then yeah, I mean, if you wanna, if sodium is a specific concern for you, then yeah, watching the gravies and the dressings and the soups, definitely soup, I agree. They're usually very salty. What else? And fries and
I would think that when you're at a restaurant, if you minimize how much of a condiment you put on food, dressings and whatever, minimize or get them on the side and just put a little bit on. And in soups, if you minimize how much broth is in it and get more of the stock, you would probably cut down on the sodium a little bit. Just my personal point of view on
But
those.
that's something you would ask the waitress, right, or waiter. Say,
Yes,
can I have more the food, not as much the sauce?
Yeah, more, yeah, and like if you get a salad and you get dressing, yes, for the dressing on the side, and you could put just a little bit of dressing on instead of having it smothered in dressing. If you get gravy on something or salsa, like all salsa on a spaghetti item on a Italian, go light
Sorry.
on sauce, go light on the gravy, or even get it on the side and put it on
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, I
you
started
could
doing
all-
that.
you could-
Dr. Aaron was telling me about that. Just ask for it on the side, and you can just
Yeah.
drizzle on, just get that flavor, but not kill it.
yeah, yeah, like I said, it's hard to control things, so that's one way you can control it, definitely. Also, how often do you think you're going out? Oh, I think, are you muted? I can't hear you.
It's twice a week, if
There we go,
anything,
now I got you.
maybe twice a week.
Twice a week isn't bad, though. That's not bad.
Sorry?
I
No,
said that's not
not
bad.
every day, not
Yeah,
every day.
yeah, if you
So
were somebody that was going out to the diner every single morning and like, then I'd be like, okay, like, yeah, we should really figure out like what you should be ordering. But it sounds like it's an occasional social thing, and that's okay, and you should enjoy that and not be panicking too much about what you're taking in. I mean, obviously watching a little, but we also don't want to stress out about it either.
Right, thank you.
Yeah. I have about 3 more minutes on the timer. Any other questions?
So if you're not especially active, I unfortunately cannot be active because my hip
Mhm.
pain is really limiting my activity. Although I'm trying to do upper body exercises with weight, is the 2 grams per kilogram of body weight still the recommended?
I would say you probably could go a notch lower. Maybe like maybe like 1.8 or something like that. But it also depends on your medical history and what else you have going on. So like I don't want to say go do this without thoroughly knowing
Yeah,
you.
no, I understand. Yeah. I'm a
Yeah.
nurse actually. So yeah. But I know that I don't have any issue with protein metabolism or anything.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, if
My
you're
kidneys are
definitely more
working.
sedentary, then you don't have to cram as much in versus like David was telling me he's working out every day. So he may need it even higher than the recommendation we mentioned.
I go about 5, 6 days a week. Weights maybe 4 times, but cardio about 6 times a week.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. So you need your protein, sir. Do you feel
Yeah, when I work out, my trainer says, eat a lot of protein and carbs and that, because when you work out strenuously, you need the muscle build up, because you burn off a lot of calories. So you gotta add more right afterwards. So is there like a protein drink, or I say, just go out and get something to eat, or make something like eggs or vegetables? That's probably not enough. Because I'm not sure if he's talking about, like you said, like 26 grams of protein in each meal, if that's what he's referring to. How much, to make it up for what I work out for an hour. And he
Yeah.
says, go on and get something to eat.
Yeah, so you're saying your post workout like snack?
Yes, post-workout,
maybe?
yes.
Yeah, I mean you could definitely do a shake if you want something convenient. Trying to think of the shakes out there like Ensure high protein or something like that if you need it.
Muscle milk.
Owens good too.
Owen,
OWIN's good shake.
yeah, I get
Yep.
that because I'm sensitive to dairy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Owens really good. Yes.
Owen.
they actually just sent me samples.
Yeah.
I've never had it until today. They sent me some samples to try out. And yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a high protein snack after working out, I mean, most of these have at least 20. So depending on which one you're getting.
Does it
And
go by your weight or your weight? If you get, I see my trainer uses a muscle milk chocolate. It's like 40 grams of protein. I
40?
know that's 40.
It's a
That's a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
It's a
That is
lot.
high.
Well, he's a muscle builder. I mean, he's a, you know,
Yeah, and it is per person. It's based on a lot of different things. Weight is like where we start. Like I do like something per kilogram of your body weight. Then it's lifestyle, like a lot of working out versus not a lot of working out. Then also medical conditions. And also your goals. Are you really trying to put on muscle, or are you just trying to maintain muscle, or are you trying to lose fat? What are your goals? So that's why an individual appointment I think would be the most appropriate to really narrow that down and like exactly what you should be having. But I don't hate the idea of the shakes. Sometimes that's just easy, than trying to come home and quickly cook something if that's what you need. Or dinging. Also bars. Like there's a specific bar that I like that's high carb and high protein that may be good post-workout. Perfect bars. You seen those? I can show
I
you.
like the RX bar.
RX bars are really good too.
where do you find the perfect bars at?
They're in the fridge. They stay in the fridge.
Okay.
And they are at Target, they're at Kimberton's. I think that's the main places I've seen them.
Okay. Perfect.
But
Wegmans.
yeah, like places like
Perfect.
that.
All right.
The reason I'm mentioning this one is because it has a lot of carbs. And you need the carbs after you work out because you've repleted your carb stores from working out, and you also need the protein to heal those muscles because you just broke them down a bit. So this has both versus just a high protein bar that maybe lacks carbs. So I would look for both. I think RX bars also have a decent amount of carbs. I have to double check, but. How are we doing on time? Okay. I'm checking my temperature of my meatballs. Oh, they're good. 180.
The RX bars have 21 grams of total carbohydrates.
That's decent. That's at least
And-
a carb serving. 15 grams is a carb serving if you're doing like diabetes carb counting. So that's over 1 carb, which is great.
and you have 12 grams of protein per bar, and about 140 milligrams of sodium.
How much sodium?
About 140 milligrams. So it's relatively high in sodium.
Yes, that's my problem.
Do you have like blood pressure issues? Hold
Yeah,
on.
I have, yeah, I have high blood pressure, but it's under control. But I always look at the ingredients, how much sugar's in there and how much because of inflammation, and also how much sodium's in there, these bars.
It has 15 grams of sugar, total sugar. But it says said the ingredients are 3 egg whites, 6 almonds, 4 cashews, and 2 dates.
Yeah,
That's the
what's great
ingredients.
Dates are very good.
That's what's great about RX bars. They have just great ingredients. The perfect bars have decent ingredients too. They just have a little bit of added sugar. And I just checked the salt and that's 104 for salt for the
That's good,
perfect.
yeah.
So yeah, you may just have to shop around a little bit, but I am not against a convenient bar, convenient drink. Or if you want to go throw something together at home, just thinking about where can I get protein, where can I get carbs? That's what you need after a workout. Yeah. And then the stuff is cooling down right now. I'm gonna wait till it cools down just a bit more before I cram it into these containers.
I could smell it from here. It smells good.
I wish you could, honestly. It smells very good.
I'm going to try this on the weekend because I love sweet
Yep.
potatoes
I do
and turkey
too.
and turkey
And
meatballs. Yeah, so
I love sweet potatoes in salad. I just feel like I'm so much more satisfied from getting those carbs.
Yeah.
Like that's what I need. Like I don't want this light salad with just some cucumbers and cheese or something. Like I need a lot going on to make sure that I am nourished and satisfied and I'm not craving something an hour later.
sweet potatoes over yams, right? There's a difference.
Is there that much of a difference?
Not much, but it's how you bake them or how you cook them as well.
Yeah. I sounds like good fiber and carbs. I would say either one. Truthfully, I don't know the technical difference between the two.
spelled differently.
Yeah, right. And it's like when people ask me, is tomato a fruit or a vegetable? I don't know. I think technically it's a fruit, but it whatever.
Grows on a vine, I know that.
Yeah, I think that's why they consider it a fruit, is because it grows on a vine. Yeah, so this
I
is the
think that
first
yams
time-
are actually not, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, my bad. Go ahead. I didn't know you were reading something.
My understanding is that even though grocery stores may advertise yams, we really in the United States don't have true yams. They're much more starchy and fibrous than what we call sweet potatoes. They're a kind of a totally different animal. Although some stores will advertise things as yams, and they're much lighter. They're kind of a yellowish color. Although some sweet potatoes be light colored also.
I wonder how plantain, which is another type of potato, I think like from Mexico. I wonder how that fits into the carb scheme. Not sure. What they call plantains, I think.
Plantain.
Plantain.
Yeah.
Plantain.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I think plantains are a decent source of carbs. They're very sweet, aren't they?
You know, I've only had them a few times, never prepared them, so I've had them like with a Mexican meal here and there. Haven't had one in many years. Haven't been down to Houston for a while, so I'm not sure.
Mexican food is such a good example of balanced meals happening very easily, like having rice and vegetables and chicken or pork or steak. And then they always have like guacamole or a fresh avocado. So you're getting lots of healthy fats, lots of fiber, beans, corn. I frequently, because especially with the gluten-free, frequently do rice bowls at home. It's just so easy to just throw stuff together and top it with whatever you're feeling that day.
Is white rice okay to use? I know
Yeah,
it's starchy. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Everybody promotes brown rice or red rice or whatever, which I know are
Yeah, I
good.
mean, variety, I think variety is best. You know, variety gives you the most nutrition. So switching it up.
I think a grain like a brown rice is harder to digest than a white rice for the gastrointestinal tract. So I know sometimes they always recommend in the hospitals patients to go on like what they call a brat diet, white
Yes.
rice and bananas and
Yeah, very
dry
gentle,
toast. Yeah,
foods
applesauce.
and yeah, that's your simple carbs. Yeah, what is it?
Yeah,
Banana, rice, applesauce, toast.
toast. Yes,
Yeah, that's
and
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. I think it's white toast on top of that, not like a whole grain toast or a
Yep. Yeah.
multi-grain toast. Yeah, it's easier to digest in the system.
Yeah, those simple carbs, like I talked about in the beginning, are absorbed very quickly, very easily, and they
Mhm.
don't involve as much digestion. Which is why maybe brown rice, you may find brown rice sits better. Maybe you're like, I feel fuller when I have brown rice because it has more fiber. You know, it depends on how you feel and how you tolerate it. But the fiber creates it, the fiber makes digestion happen slower. So you're gonna feel fuller longer. That's why it's so important. And it's good for your gut. We love,
And
we love gut.
requires more water also, doesn't it?
Um,
To
depending on the type of
to move
fiber,
through.
yeah. If it's like a bulking fiber
Yeah.
versus there's different types of fibers, but yeah.
I have one quick question. I read somewhere that you should eat, not have a heavy meal at night because you should be like, give it, because it takes 2 to 3 hours for your food to digest out of your stomach. I mean, is it true or is it a myth?
I think it's per person, truthfully, because I've had some people say that they love having a solid meal or snack right before bed, and then other people will tell me it keeps them up. Like they
Yeah,
feel like
that's what I
eating right
heard.
before bed keeps them awake. And I'm like, well, then don't do that if you don't like that, because sleep is so important. We know sleep is super important. We don't want to interfere with that. Um, yeah, so I don't want to say if it's true or false. I think it's per person.
And I would think too that if you have a full stomach and you get into a supine position, it might be easier to have reflux on that.
Yes, yes. I see a lot of people with GERD. And yeah, you do not want to have a lot before bed and then go lay down if you're a reflux type person.
Right.
I agree. It's a good point, David. See, David could have held this class.
No. I've done a lot of reading over my years, and I'm actually have a health background, so
No, I love it. I love when that's one of the things I love about the patients with the movement paradigm is you guys already have so much interest in the topics. So it tends to be very receptive, and that's awesome versus sometimes in the hospital, I don't get that. I don't get much reception. They're not feeling hot and they're in maybe an end stage type situation and they're like, I do not want to worry about food right now. And I'm like, that's okay. Well,
never stop learning, never stop the wanting to learn how to improve yourself or learn new things. That's always something to do throughout life.
Yeah. So let me show you the finished product. And I'll let you guys go. I don't want to keep you. So I have like, what do I have, 6 or 7 meatballs in here? Very, very, very solid amount of protein here. That's definitely at least 30 grams. And plus you'll have some protein throughout here from your chickpeas, your sunflower seeds, a little bit. So we're looking well over 30 grams. We're having lots of fiber, lots of color, lots of healthy fats, and then more fat from our dressing as well. So super, super satiating, nutritious, balanced, everything we're looking for, and you can swap it out in any way you want. Yeah, so I will
Looks
send you this.
delicious. Yeah.
Thank you. I will send you the recipe. I will send you the protein handout and any last minute questions or concerns about this.
Nope, looks wonderful. And
Awesome.
quick to prepare. Yeah.
Yeah, and we did
Thank
it in
you.
literally like 30 minutes, truthfully. So I
Thank
talked
you.
for the other 30. So
And an easy cleanup on top of that. Yeah.
yes, and 2 sheet pans to wash and a bowl. That's about
Yep.
it.
Yep.
And that's the biggest thing, making, less dishes, less time. We have busy lives. Let's just make nourishment easy.
Yep.
So yeah, I hope
That's
that
a
was
great goal.
helpful, and I appreciate your guys' time so much. This was fun. This was great. You guys were great at talking and chatting with me. And I will make sure that Ariane and I get those handouts to you soon. All
Thank
right.
you.
Can I
Yeah.
ask
Very
about
good. I really appreciate it.
batch cooking?
Appreciate it. Great.
What
Appreciate
was
it.
that
Thank
about
you.
batch cooking?
Sorry, just real quick, like when you talked about the batch cooking and the different ideas, is it possible to provide that to us as well?
Yeah, I could write something up. It would take me a little bit, but yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. That's good.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, just the different things you can do each night to mix
Different
it, make
method.
it different.
Yeah, I'll think of some examples for that. Definitely. That sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks.
All right,
Great-
you're
great-
welcome. Have a great
great-
night.
Thanks very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
Thank you, everyone. It's good to
Thanks.
see
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Thank you. Great
Bye.
Take care.
presentation. Bye.
Bye.